All right, everyone, and as we can tell from the title, it's going to be a full face of Sheglam. I'd say about half of what I picked up is stuff that is new to me, so I'm excited to go ahead and give all of this a try. I think all of this altogether was under $110. Still, I know a bit on the pricey side, but I'm excited to go ahead and dive into some of this stuff. All right, guys, to start off with, I'm going to go ahead and start with my brows today. This is the Better Brows Long Lasting Eyebrow Pencil, and mine is in the shade Taupe. I will be honest, this does feel a little harder than what I would like, but hopefully it'll soften up as we use it, and I really hope that this is the right shade. It looks a little warmer than what I'm used to, but we're going to go ahead and go for it. This thing definitely has an interesting shape, because it's like a razor type of edge right here, and then it gets flat on this one. Didn't Dominique Cosmetics come out with something really similar to this? I feel like she did, but I would assume that this would make your brow application a little bit faster to be able to use the flat edge of it. I mean, that's filling it in pretty quickly. Definitely a little bit warmer than what I would prefer for a taupe shade, but beggars can't be choosers. Sometimes if I'm being extra lazy, I'll messily, not even a word, sometimes I'll messily kind of fill in my brows and then I'll just go in with a Q-tip and shape it afterwards. See if this will work making strokes. It's kind of hard to see in camera, but it really, I think it would work doing little strokes. You can kind of see right there. So if you have nice brows, unlike mine, I think that this would be a pretty decent pencil actually to fill in your brows with just like some, if you're missing like sparse hairs here and there. And I am going to be lazy today. As I fill in my brows, I'm going to take a Q-tip and clean it up. Yeah, definitely warmer for a taupe shade, but we'll make it work. None of my brows look fantastic. I'm going to go back through and brush these in real quick to kind of lighten it up. So now I'm just going to take a Q-tip with some micellar water and I'm going to go ahead and clean these up. This is sometimes honestly what I'll do if I'm in a hurry and want my brows to be a little bit more filled in. I'll just really quickly go over them with a powder or something and then I'll clean them up after. I am on the hunt to find a good brow gel that I actually like. So Sheglam, are you going to be it today? So this is the Hold 'em Up Tinted Brow Gel, and this is also in the shade Taupe. So this looks like this is a fiber. I don't know if you guys can tell, but right in here you can see some of the little fibers in here. So this would probably be nice depending on how good of quality this is if you also have sparse brows and want to make them look a little bit fuzzier. So let's see. I will be honest, if this makes my brows look like sheet, I'll be redoing my brows with something else. Ooh, okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to eat my words because I think my brow hairs look fine. Let me fix this right here because this is going to bother me and we'll be right back. Well, y'all, for how cheap that product is, I might keep repurchasing this because I really like how my brows look. Very nice. So up next, we're going to be using the Sheglam Ready Set Primer, and this is an eye primer. This product is not new to me. It's kind of a strange primer. I find that with like my indie, more kind of pigmented shadows, I find that this, for whatever reason, creases. I don't know if it's because the shimmers are a little more moist or what, but this tends to crease a little bit more with these ones than it does with some of my, like, you know, just standard kind of higher end shadows. So this is the eyeshadow palette that I picked up, and this is the Marvelous palette. I do have another one from them, but it's not sold anymore, so I went ahead and picked up this one, and I really love the color story in here. So I think I might do a little bit more of a simple look today. So I think to start off with, these two shades right here are pretty similar, but I think to start with, I'm going to go in with this one right here, and this is called Ritual. And I'm just going to pack that into my crease. There's really no fallout with this palette, at least in this shade. I can't speak of their palettes in general, just because I only have one other palette, but the pigment on the other one is pretty nice except for the shimmers. The shimmers are pretty kind of dry and hard panned, and it's been that way even ever since I purchased the palette. So I'm curious to see if this palette's going to be exactly the same way. But so far I think that that shade's laying down really nicely. I think just to add a little something something to the inner part of my crease, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, and this is called Plush. Ooh, dusty. That shade does have some kick up in the pan. Okay, just wanted to add just a little touch of that. So the next shade that I'm going to go into is going to be this shade right here, and this is called Over Under, and I'm going to go ahead and darken up the crease on both sides. Probably could have done without this particular shade in the palette just because this one and that other pink shade are honestly pretty similar. At least in person, you can tell that this is just ever so slightly darker, but it's not really that much darker. All right, and now that that shade is laid down, I'm going to go into this shade right here, and this is called Minx, and I'm going to blend out both of those shades. All right, I'm going to go in with a few shimmers, and I think to start off with, I'm going to go into this shade right here called Disco Bunny, and then on the inner corner, I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Grace, and then to top it off, because this is more of a topper shade, I'm going to go in right here, and this is called I'm Blushing. So starting with Disco Bunny, going to the inner 3/4 of my lid. These shimmers do feel pretty much how the other one does. They're not the softest, and there's not a whole bunch of pigment on here. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm just curious to see if I can get some more pigment. So I'm going to grab a brush and I'm going to spray it, and we'll see if we can get this a little bit more popping. I think that that looks a little bit better. If you want more of the softer shades though, you absolutely by no means have to spray your brush. I just wanted to see if this could be built up a little bit more, which it can. I do like this shade. I think that this would be a pretty good work palette. If you want just a little bit more of a pop of color, or if you like your cool tones. All right, now in the inner corner, I'm going to go in with that Grace shade. That's a pretty decent pigment right off the bat. I like how that looks. All right, now I'm going to go in with the I'm Blushing shade and kind of pat that all over the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. Kind of a shimmery topper. I really like that. I actually have quite a few toppers. I really like toppers. So yeah, I really like how that looks. All right, we will dive back into this palette in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and start with the complexion products. And to start off with, this is going to be the Sheglam Birthday Skin Pigment Perfector Primer. This is supposed to kind of reduce the look of dark spots and kind of give your complexion a brighter look to it. So I have never actually used this before. It is a very, very runny consistency. I don't know if you can see, a very kind of stringy type of consistency. Let's see how this performs. Not even sure how much I should use. Whew. Not exactly the most pleasing smell. It kind of smells like a crayon. But here's what it looks like. Okay, I think I used way too much. Whoops. Oh boy. Oh no. Y'all, I thought I was pale before, and I look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. You're like Home Alone. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm a... Oh my. Well, this might not be a good makeup day. This is not a good look for me. So next we're going to go in with the Skin Magnet High Coverage Foundation Stick, and mine is in the shade Chantilly. A lot of their kind of lighter shades really look the same, so I'm not sure. I mean, this should be, well, against my normal skin color, not where I'm literally dead from the neck up. I think this should be a decent shade match, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, well, that goes on really nicely. Well, I think my reign of picking the correct foundation shade just came to an end, because I am pretty certain this is going to be way too light for me. Damn it. All right, now I'm just going to go in with my IT Cosmetics Airbrush Complexion Brush. I mean, other than this being 50 shades too light for me, it's blending really nicely. I think that I really need to use this with a different primer, because I'm going to have to be perfectly honest and say that that primer is going to be a no for me. Not a fan. Oh, my skin looks horrible. Horrible. Come here. Can you see how disgusting my skin looks? Right up here, you can tell where it's sitting in some of the texture that I have. Right here in my nose, it's settling into my pores. Up here in my hairline, it's just does not, like, it looks really bad. I really feel like it's the primer's fault. I'm not gonna lie, I have a couple of Sheglam's foundations and I've never had this problem. I'm definitely going to be trying the foundation again, but so that I don't have to take all of this off, and we're going to attempt to trust the process. Let's see how the concealer and all of the other cream and powder products are going to look. So I'm going to go ahead and do a cream contour, bronzer, highlighter, blush, and concealer. So I'm going to start with the bronzer first. This is the Snatch and Define stick, and mine is in the shade Soft Tan. I honestly could and have used this as a cream contour, but because I have a true contour, I'll use that one for that purpose. You can see, I wouldn't exactly call this a tan color. I mean, well, it is a tan color, but for bronzing purposes, this is going to look more like an actual like contour stick. But this product does work pretty nicely. It is really creamy, but I'll probably, or I should have picked up probably a different shade that's a little bit warmer. I'm just going to take my brush and blend that out. But as you can see, it blends and spreads really nicely. But now we'll go in with the blush, and this is the Snatch and Blush stick, and mine is in the shade Wild Love. It's a pretty shade. Also very creamy, blends out really nicely. Pretty sure that this is the same formula really as the bronzer. I did also pick up a cream highlighter, and this is going to be the Snatch and Glow stick in the shade Vanilla Frost. So I think on this one I'm going to take a little bit on a brush and kind of pat it along my cheekbones. So this does seem like it is a buildable type of formula, which I like. Kind of that natural, soft glow from within type of look. Okay, I really like that. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and go in with an unnecessary step, but because I have it, I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'm going to use the Sun Sculpt Liquid Contour, and mine is in the shade Soft Tan. I'm just going to put some of that under my cheekbones, and a little bit of this does go a long way. But for my fair skinned folks out there, this is a great contour. I don't feel that this makes me look dirty, like I just splattered a bunch of dirt on my face. It is a really good, like, true contour shade if you have kind of that fair to light skin. It blends out really easily, giving you that sculpted look. All right, now to add a little bit of life back to my eyes, we're going to go in with the concealer. And this is the Complexion Boost Concealer, and mine is in the shade Fair. "20 years later." All right, so here's some of the product coming out on the top. Of course, this is darker than the foundation. Well, that sucks. Aside from this being darker a little bit than my foundation, I think that this is otherwise the correct shade match for me. However, I do believe that this is the darkest concealer shade that they have, so I don't know how well this would actually work on really fair skin tones, because you can already see I'm pretty fair skin, and this is definitely on the darker side for fair, at least in my opinion. But it does seem to have pretty decent coverage. So before that creases, I'm going to go in with the Insta Ready Face and Under Eye Setting Powder Duo, and mine is in the shade Bubblegum. So this is going to have a pressed powder on the top as well as a loose powder underneath. For today, I'm going to go in with the pressed powder and just set underneath my eyes. I'm just going to go in with a powder puff. I think that this does do a good job at brightening underneath the under eyes. So if you like pink powders, I do like this one. It does a pretty good job of brightening. So that's how the under eyes look up close. So far, meshing with that concealer, it looks really nice. My under eyes look really smooth. Like that they're definitely brighter now that I've added that. So next, I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face. Now this is technically a foundation, but it can be used as a setting powder if you use a brush. This is the Skin Focus High Coverage Powder Foundation, and mine is in the shade Fair. I'm just going to take it on a big fluffy brush and just pat that over my face. Plus this will darken my foundation a little bit to be more of my actual shade. I use this both ways. I use it as a setting powder as well as an actual like powder foundation, and I really like it. And if you want the best coverage with it, you'll want to go in with one of the triangular puffs. Next, we're going to start moving into the powder products, and to start with, I'm going to be going in with the Sunside Bronzer, and mine is in the shade Dawn Glow. I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush, and this is a much warmer shade, so it should help to warm up my complexion. A little bit of kick up in the component. Hope I didn't pick up too much. Maybe a little bit. I'm going to bring a little bit kind of all over my face to kind of lighten some of this up because it's still a little too pale. This is new to me. I've not tried this product yet, but so far I'm liking the way that this looks. It's blending out really nicely. It's not really an orange shade. It kind of looks orange on camera, but it's not. I think that did a really nice job. All right, now that we actually have some color to this lifeless face, we're gonna go ahead and move on into the blush. This is gonna be the lightweight matte blush, and mine is in the shade Good Vibes. This blush is not new to me. I really like this blush. It is a very buildable formula. So next is going to be another new to me product, and this is the Moonside Highlighter, and mine is in the shade Cosmic Stream. I really like this type of kind of space bubble type of packaging. The bronzer is the same way. Please don't tell me that this is just glitter. Right, so this is kind of on the lighter side of being a highlighter. I mean, it's not. I mean, I am like digging in here, and it's not really. Oh, there we go. I think it's one of those where you have to get that first layer off. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better. So next we're gonna go ahead and finish up the eye look. I'm just gonna go back into the palette, and I'm just gonna use these two shades down here at the bottom. I honestly feel like the mattes in this palette are a little bit better than the shimmers. I feel that same way about the other palette from them that I have. Now for the inner corner and brow bone highlight, I'm just going to go in with the corner shade up here called Grace. All right, and next we're going to finish off the eyes by going in with the Big Time Eyes Volumizing Mascara. I really like the wand on this, and I'm very curious to see if this is going to work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes, and we'll apply this mascara. Oh, wow. Wow. That did a really nice job. Okay. This is definitely adding volume and length to my lashes. I like the fact that it's not making them look spidery and clumpy, but it is adding good volume and lift as well as separation. And that's just going in one time. And I think that that looks really nice. I am normally not a mascara type of person. It's usually one of my least favorite makeup products, but as of late, I think I've been scoring with the mascaras. This is really nice. Wow, that did a great job on my lower lashes. I'm going to try just to see how it looks adding an extra coat to the top. Y'all, do we see my lashes? Do we see these lashes? Wow, that's nice. I am really impressed with that mascara. Woo! All right, she is a winner. Now we're going to move into the lip liner. And this is going to be the So Lippy Lip Liner, and mine is in the shade 04 Natural. Always on the hunt for good lip liners. Get some of this crusty stuff off of here. It's nasty. I apologize. Y'all had to look at that. Oh, that's really creamy. That's a great natural color. Well, we accidentally way overlined today, so I'm going to have some Jay-Z lips. Really like the color. Really great formula. Didn't catch. Didn't feel drying. Really like that. So next we're going to go in with the Starlight Velvet Lipstick, and mine is in the shade Beach Babe. Really like this packaging. I have used this before, and me personally, I think that it's a really good bullet lipstick formula. Really like this color. It's a good formula. It's not drying. It's creamy. Not a fan of how much I overlined my lips, but that has obviously nothing to do with any of the products. So to top off my lips, I'm going to be going in with the Glaze Days Lip Gloss, and mine is in the shade Rose Tea. I think this should be a pretty good color match for this lipstick. Oh wow, that's a really soft formula. No scent to this. All right, I am thoroughly impressed with that lip gloss. It is not sticky at all. It is super smooth, very lightweight. Absolutely love the color. I'm impressed. Now to finish it off, I'm going to go in with the Press Refresh Setting Spray. See what the mist looks like. Oh, that's very fine. Ooh, she smells like coconut. All right, guys, and this is the final look. Guys, I gotta say, overall, I'm pretty impressed. I definitely have some thoughts about a couple of products here, but for the most part, you guys, I'm thoroughly impressed. All right, guys, so I'm going to give you my final thoughts on what I think of these products. I definitely have some opinions on a couple of things here. So to start with the brows, I do like both of these products. I'm not a huge fan of the shade of this, but that's just a personal preference. It softened as I started to use it. I do like the fact that you can fill it in as well as make brow strokes in it. So this is a pretty decent product. I am in love with this. I really like the way that my brows look. The hairs are holding nicely. They're separated. They're lifted. It didn't make my brows look too dark. They don't feel crunchy or dry. 10 out of 10, would absolutely repurchase this product. Moving on to the eyeshadow palette. Now this in and of itself is not a bad palette at all. I love the color story. I love cool tones. I love mauves in particular. This would be a good work wearable palette simply because the shadows are pretty pigmented. They are buildable though, however, and just based off of the couple of shimmers that I played with in here. So this purple one, and this one, they were buildable. You absolutely do not have to spray them if you don't want to get more color payoff. And I think that these shimmers would be great, at least the ones I played with, would be great for workwear because they're not too, you know, shim, shammy, sham, like in your face. They're definitely more kind of the muted down shimmers. But if you are somebody who really loves like the super bright pigmented in your face type of shimmers, this is not for you. But overall, not bad quality. The eye primer, I've used it before. I've never really had a problem with it just with my standard eyeshadows. Again, like I said, really the only time that I ever have problems with this is when I start to get into like the more kind of wet type of eyeshadows. So like the indie brands, any of my liquid eyeshadows, this is the only time that this for me does not work. But overall, this is a pretty decent primer. Next, and we got some thoughts here. Upon first impression, y'all, I am not a fan. I do not like this. I don't like how it brightened my face. To me, there is a huge difference between brightening and whitening. So I'm already a pasty white girl as it is, but this made me look like I was related to Casper. And that is not a good look for me, nor anybody. Ladies, gents, whatever. This is not going to be good for deeper skin tones at all. I might try this one more time, but honestly, this might be going in the trash. Moving on to the foundation. This is super creamy. I definitely want to give this another try on top of a primer that I know that I like. It blended out really easily. Didn't have any problems with it smoothing around. That could also be the primer, but I want to say that this probably would be a pretty decent foundation. I am definitely going to try this again, but I will say, you guys, the combination of the two is not a good look. It does not look good. In fact, come here. And while I got you here, we're also going to talk about the concealer because I'm not impressed. But in the essence of transparency, guys, I'm not a fan here around my chin. It doesn't look good here on my nose either. I just really don't like the way that this looks. It looks really cakey and textured here. I hope you guys can see this. Really cakey and textured here. In this area in particular, it's settling into my pores. I don't like the way it looks like right here in between my brows. And then y'all, concealer. Not a fan. You can clearly see right here that I am creasing. At a distance, she looks great, but up close, nope. Starting to crease right here as well. So the concealer, try it with a couple more setting powders, but upon first impression, not a fan. My other quick gripe with that concealer is the fact that that fair shade, personally for light skin tones, is kind of lacking. If you are truly fair, this is going to be way too dark for you. The setting powder, I like the setting powder. I've used it time and time again, primarily the pressed powder on top. I like it. It brightens, it softens. I normally don't have a problem with it creasing, so I want to say that this probably was the concealer. Now, as far as the powder foundation / in my case setting powder today, I really like this stuff. It can definitely be built to full coverage if you use one of the triangular puffs like so. If you want lighter coverage, you want to use a brush. As far as, and I know I'm kind of out of order, I apologize. As far as all of the cream products go, I really like all of these. All three of these. The formula is buildable. It's very creamy. It's very soft. It blends really nicely. These are complete 10 out of 10 in my book. Would definitely consider getting more shades of these. Now for the blush, bronzer, and highlighter, love this blush, love the color. If you are afraid of having blushes that are too pigmented right from the get-go, this is a great product for you. It builds really nicely, it blends really easily, and it's not going to be very like pow, pow, pow. Then as far as this bronzer, I really like this. It definitely is on the warmer side. So as opposed to the cream one, this definitely added some more warmth to my face. Blended really nicely, built up really well. No complaints about this. We'll definitely keep using this. It is very powdery in the component though, so keep that in mind. As far as this highlighter, this, at least mine, you really had to dig off that first layer and kind of like dig in there in order to get any type of pigment. But overall, I think that it looks really nice. I'm really happy with how it looks. I think this is also going to be one of the kind of more, buildable type of formulas. So if you don't want, kind of the scene from space type of glam glow, you should be able to build this. This right here is incredible. I am very, very happy with how my lashes look, giving that semi-falsy type of look. And we get another lash gate! Not really. Really kind of like the falsy type of look that it gave. Lashes are lifted, separated, voluminous. Very happy with how this looks. Definitely going to keep using this. And then finally, for the lip products, I really like all three of these. Lip liner, very creamy, very universal type of natural type of shade, as the name states. Very creamy, didn't have any problems with this whatsoever. Lipstick, really like this color for kind of everyday type of pinky wear. If you really like pink shades, this is a fantastic shade. It is a pretty creamy type of formula. It doesn't catch on my lips. It's not drying, at least in my personal opinion. The only thing it does do is it kind of settles into the lines in your lips, so I would recommend wearing a lip gloss. And then this right here is perfection. I love this color. I love this formula so far. Very, very smoothing on the lips. It is super lightweight. It is not sticky. It is not tacky. So far, major win in my book. We'll definitely keep reusing this. And then for the setting spray, obviously I can't tell right off the bat, but upon first impression, love the tropical coconut type of smell, and I really like the mister on this. And then we forgot the contour. I've been using this for a very long time. I really like this contour. Again, it's a really pretty good shade if you have fair to light skin tones. I kind of feel like their other contours for the deeper skin tones tend to look more like bronzers, so just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, guys, overall, I'm really happy with most everything on here with the exception of a couple of products, but I'm very happy with how my makeup looks from afar, not necessarily up close. Sheglam does have a really good selection of various makeup products. I really love in particular a lot of their foundations. So I'm very happy to have most everything in my collection. I'm pretty sure that this primer is going to go into the trash, but we're going to try one more time. Thank you guys for watching another one of my videos today. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel because I do upload between 3 to 5 times every single week, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys!